So today I just wanted to go through the overall design and how you would put together this trash can. Now, due to this um, can's enormous plastic usage, I haven't yet printed it. I'm waiting on some cheaper filament that I've ordered to come in. I'm going to use PETG, and before this, I do recommend PETG or another lower friction. You don't want stuff stuck to the inside of the can if you're using it without a liner. And then also the way that the can pivots inside of the frame means that you really don't want too much friction in this joint in the hinge. Um, so yeah, as for the bill of materials, you're going to need 6 M3 by 6 and 4 M3 by 8. Uh, I did socket head bolts from McMaster, but you can use whatever as long as the head size isn't too big to fit in these holes, which are all at 6 millimeters, and the McMaster heads are at 5.5, so the fitment's real nice. All right, so to run through it, in the frame, which is what you screw, please don't use double-sided tape, it's probably going to fall off. What you screw into the bottom of the desk has 3 main components. There's this top, which I'm calling the latch plate, and then there are the 2 side rails. So starting with the latch plate, for print orientation, use a big side. It'll print upside down. You might want to put some support on just for this base piece. You could probably get tree support that comes over the front, or this isn't a visible piece, so it should be fine if you have supports directly on it. It shouldn't take too much. I don't think these overhangs would need support, and a screw is going to be pressing them in anyways, so I don't foresee that being a large need. Now to run through the rails. The rails consist of 2 components. There is the linear stop, which you pull about 20 millimeters out, 15 millimeters out, and then it'll allow the hinge to release and you to remove the trash can if you're using it without a bag, or you just need to clean it out, or whatever reason you need to take it off the bottom of the desk. There's a finger pull right here, which is how you unseat the latch and pull it forward. And then there's one on each side. So that should allow the trash can to just drop out at a 45-degree angle. Now, you don't want to, you don't need to pull these all the way out and remove them. They are not set in place. They're not captive, so there's nothing preventing them from being pulled all the way out, but you just don't need to do it. I was thinking of using a single bolt in the bottom and then making these a slot instead of a this T slot system. I was thinking of just making a single, all-feeler slot with the screw going through the middle that would then captivate it, but I just didn't see the need for it. So with these, you could print them on the back, but then it might create a bit of an ugly front on these chamfers here. Or you could print it on the top, which is how I imagine you would want to. These T-slots in here are going to be a bit of a pain, so maybe printing on the back and then just having very thin removable supports for just these 2 little nubs would work best, and for in here just using tree supports. I know printing vertically, and these are not short parts, I believe they are 240 long. Let me look. They are, yeah, almost 245 long. So, that amount of height might get wobbly. Try some stuff out, you know, try some different print orientations. The one orientation I don't recommend is this one, the straight up. It would be nice to just have single supports right here, but the inside of this T-slot really, I don't think would hold its form very well. And since it's a relatively tight fitment to the rail, you'd have a heck of a time trying to get a file down all there. So I'd say basically just avoid the original positioning. So you're going to print those two. Then you're going to print your stop. And that's just, you know, a latch pull for the can to hook up to. You're going to first put 2 screws of the M3x6 variety down here, and that's actually going to dovetail in here just a little bit. So that way it fits snugly and holds tight and is rigid. And that should allow you to install it without needing a template. However, I'll provide a quick one that just, you know, you print a piece of paper, poke the holes where they gotta go, drill them. So yeah, that's the frame. Moving on from the frame to the can, let's strip this down. Okay, so starting with the basics. The can. This, I don't know how to print it. I'm going to be honest. I'm guessing upright's probably the best orientation, and that should allow for bamboo printers to print them because of that annoying cutout for the filming, cutting, whatever it's called. You are going to need internal supports here at the very least. Internally, you shouldn't need any, but I suggest using support painting and allowing it to build just on top of this. It might affect the look a little bit, but if you have your supports tuned in, it shouldn't be too bad, and it should print pretty well. This bridge absolutely would fail, just due to its length being over 200 millimeters if you didn't have support. So I highly recommend that. It would be possible to print this on its face, so in kind of this orientation, but then you'd be contending with a bunch of overhangs and possible support material and whatnot back here. So, you know, use your own better judgment. So once you do have this printed and, you know, cleaned up, you're going to want to start with the whole latching assembly. So this is a multi-part latching assembly that holds the can up from the 45-degree angle down when not in use, so you just don't have an open can hanging there all the time. So you're going to want to start with the latch probably. So the latch inserts from above. The latch inserts directly from above and hooks into here. You're going to press on the back of this with your hand in order to open it. Next, there's the back plate. So the back plate sets straight down on top and then notches in here. You might have to depress the latch. There's a cutout for it. So you depress the latch backwards, or I guess pull the handle forward, and that should rotate this backward, which should allow you to lower this over the top and get this tab and groove right here in place. Then, before inserting any screws or bolts, you're going to install the spring plate, which just gets inserted straight in from the back here, and then it should apply constant pressure through this interference to the back of the latch, the handle. Next, you're going to put the 2 retaining plates on. So those just hold this in place, and they create enough depth to get the full length of the screws to bite in to the assembly and hold it really solidly in place. So there's no rattling, or it doesn't feel delicate. It doesn't feel soft. So then you're gonna assemble those, and you're going to, let's see where I hid them. Here we go. You're gonna insert the M3 by 8 socket and bolts into here. Technically, these are 9 deep, so you could go up to 10 if you wanted to, and with just, all the plastic on plastic spacing that is likely to occur, you could probably safely have an extra millimeter where the heads wouldn't stick out just due to, plastic on plastic and interference fits. But yeah, so once you kind of make that little sandwich, I suggest doing it face down. Then you put in your bolts. I suggest starting with the ones behind the spring plate, because then these outside ones are a lot easier. They just hold everything in place and make sure that stuff doesn't fall into the latching mechanism, and junk's not where it shouldn't be. It also cleans up the look a little bit. So once that's done, you're gonna attach the support sliders. So these are what actually connect it to the frame and allow it to pivot around on the desk. 2 more of the M3 by 6 socket heads go in there. And then you're just going to do the same thing for the other side. And put your bolts in, and then you're done. So once completed, you should be able to just grab the handle underneath, and then it should drop by itself down to a 45-degree angle, which, I'd like to do more, but then it gets to a point where it's kind of hard to pick back up, and it kind of moves too far away underneath the desk, and it becomes really uncomfortable to actually manage. And I figure most stuff you'd be putting in a smaller can like this can probably be inserted from the top. If you're throwing away anything bigger than this, go to your real trash can. Yeah, so sorry. One last thing. When you're removing it to clean it or empty it or whatever you want to do, move it to a 45-degree angle like this, and then you're just going to slide it out directly. Uh-oh, that got shifted somehow. You're just going to slide it straight out the bottom. So you're just going to slide this out 10, 15, 20 millimeters. There's the finger groove right there for it, which then exposes the bottom of the pin here, which then should allow the trash can to just slide straight out. Put a hand on it to support it when it slides out. You don't want that going all over the floor, whatever's in there, but yeah, so that's the trash can, how it's assembled and how to use it. I'll do a more in-depth video later on how I designed it and how I design processes. And while this video is going to be long, boring, and monotonous with one view and me droning on, in the future I'll do more videos with some more editing in them. But for this quick assembly, I didn't really want to put the effort in after designing this thing all day. So yeah, hope you have a good time printing and assembling it. Hope it works well for you.